say that. Joel's a friend of ours. He draws a comic called Hijinks Ensue, and he also draws a comic called Sharksplode. That's super, super funny. And imposter syndrome is this thing that happens to creative people where we're working really hard to make things, and we might even have some success in our creations, but there is this voice that's in the back of our head, and I've described it as the mom from the movie Carrie, where, right? Where she's like, they're all gonna laugh at you, they're all gonna laugh at you, right? And we feel like, well, you know, 5,000 people might be saying, I really love this thing that you made, and it really, you know, it really matters to me. But those two guys on 4chan, they really know the truth. Like, they know how much I suck. Everybody else is just lying to me. Everybody else is just like trying to be my friend because
they're keeping it real.
Yeah, and it is this thing that is, I think, has plagued artists forever. In my readings about like actors and writers, I am in love with a podcast called You Must Remember This.
Yes.
That is all about the secret and or forgotten history of Hollywood's first century that Karina Longworth does. And she just does these incredible deep dives into the people that kind of invented the entertainment industry and created movies and then went on to create TV. And even people who were massive movie stars in the 30s and 40s, when like being a massive movie star was an even bigger deal than it is now because there were just not as many of them, felt like, oh my God, they're gonna know. That audience, they're gonna figure it out, and they're gonna figure out that I'm a fraud. And it's this thing that we struggle with all the time. And, you know, I get to talk to creative people, and it's one of the great joys of my life is going to conventions or going to schools and talking to creative people and sharing some of my experience and trying to help people. I once had a teacher who said, I want you to write this down, I want you to internalize this, and I want you to start out with this sentence. I hung on this cross so you don't have to. and I get to talk to people about exactly imposter syndrome. And it is this thing that we really struggle with. I love this thing that I'm creating, and it feels really good, but my brain's telling me that I suck. And Chris Hardwick said, that's your brain trying to protect you. It's your brain trying to save you from being creatively vulnerable. And your brain thinks that it's like actually doing something good for you, right? By like keeping you safe. Your brain's being a dick.
Yeah. As brains are wont to do from time to time.
Yeah, as well, especially ones like mine. And I think that so what's really interesting is that we have these creative struggles, but we all have them, right? And we all have imposter syndrome at one time or another. It's like a great relationship, a great partnership. My marriage with my wife is this phenomenal partnership, right? And when one of us is having a shit day, then the other one is like, all right, I'm gonna help you get through this, you know? And like we just sort of like go back and forth like that. And it's the same thing with artists, right? I can be like having the worst imposter syndrome ever, and I'll talk to like John Scalzi, and he'll be like, here, come, just step back from the ledge a little bit.
Yeah.
It's fine, you know? And then Joel will be having a massively bad day, and I'll be like, dude, no, what are you talking about? And it was Joel who said, in response to people being jerks on the internet, you make things, they make comments.
Yeah.
Which I thought was